Well,
Hello. Yeah, we're live. What's up, everybody? Hey, Danny, how are
we
you doing?
are we are here. We're live in
Yes,
the
we are.
place, in the building, and it's not just me. Carlos is here as well,
What's up,
ready to
Carlos?
Hey
assist.
guys, how are you?
Doing
Doing
good.
great, buddy. Really excited about this week. So, for anybody that's just joining us, we are continuing with the Build a Business series. And just a really quick recap. This is so exciting because yesterday we had our ambassadors, Andrea and Susan, join us. And what they did is they just gave I think it was thousands of dollars worth of tips in the hour that they joined us. See, what we're talking about in this series is we're talking about Susan, who is a fictitious person, right? They're our avatar. It's not a real person, but what we're doing is we're pretending that Susan came to us and we're like their coaches, her coaches, to teach her how to build a business on ClickFunnels 2.0. So a couple of weeks ago, she built her first business with her first funnel, and then what happened now is she's actually gotten things down. She knows ClickFunnels 2.0 very well, and she has a bunch of people asking her for help with their own ClickFunnels 2.0 account. So what she's doing is she's actually building a marketing agency where she's going to offer her services, teach people how to use ClickFunnels 2.0, and also offer done for you services. Really excited. And today, Danny, I think we're going to continue. So, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, like you said, we have covered a lot, and the value that was dropped yesterday was insane. But today we want to move a little bit further from that. And if you're watching live, you're on the replay, you can drop questions in the chat, right? But a little bit of a recap, which I guess we've kind of done, and we will get into that perhaps a little bit more. But we want to talk more about how to position your agency, because I guess you're not the first agency that's going to come into the internet marketing world, right? Or the funnel building world, or wherever you're going to go, do social media or ads or whatever it is. There's lots and lots of agencies out there. So I want to talk a little bit about positioning. I want to talk about how to make your offer and actually how to make that offer stand out amongst the sea of your competition, right? Competitors are out there. So you want to kind of get this right. And I want to talk a little bit about like how many clients do you actually need to be successful? So what does success look like? And then talk about funnel hubs, right? Because this is an important part of ClickFunnels and ClickFunnels 2.0. And it kind of occurred to me that if you're an agency, this could be beneficial to you. But I want to see what other folks think as well. And we are also going to be joined by Tim, who's just landed fresh
Yeah.
from recording videos. So that's kind of like what we want to talk about today. And again, we've got some amazing expertise in the room. I know there are a few ambassadors who are possibly going to join as well. So we do want to put these questions out there. I've got these open on the screen so we can kind of all come back into the picture a little bit. But Tim, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping in. You ready to
Doing good.
share?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Sound
Sweet.
check. So yeah, good to go. And as you know, as Andy said, the agency model is definitely something that you might want to consider when you get good at building your funnels and working with, maybe a few clients. And Andrea and Susan really laid out the sort of three different ways that you could, position your agency to start with. But then how do you get out there and start to get the clients and start to advertise and start to promote? And we're kind of leading into funnel hubs. I think yesterday we covered like the foundation, and that really set the scene for what we want to get into today, right? So hopefully with you guys on board, we can help folks who are watching to really get some clarity around not only getting moving with their agency, but getting out there, starting to get some clients, and then how would they present that in ClickFunnels? That's kind of where we're going with this. So if it's all right with you, I want to talk a little bit about like positioning, because as Susan and Andrea were saying yesterday, there's good agencies, there's great agencies, but I would imagine there's also some folks who try and they don't succeed. And as with many things in marketing and funnels and all the rest of it, that can come down to your positioning, right? Of where you position yourself in the market and where you want to be, right? So it's, if you go in there and say, hey, you know, we're working on this thing and you don't have the skills, you're probably in the wrong position. And we kind of covered a little bit about that yesterday. But what is the view, the consensus from folks on the live right now? Because I think the positioning is super, super important.
Yeah, so really excited to see Loris. I know that there's some people joining us right now, but yeah, your positioning is super important, right? What you want to do is you want to make sure that you represent yourself and as an expert, you represent yourself as someone that can actually fulfill the work that needs to be done. So one of the things that, and you tell me this, Danny, but I know one of the things that I go through when I'm ever doing any type of sales, whether it's on a sales page or in person or over a phone call, is using the principles of persuasion, right? I don't know if anybody has ever heard of the principles of persuasion, but for me, these are like just super important elements. And the principles of persuasion are reciprocity, right? Uh, I'm looking at my notes right here. Consistency, social proof, authority, liking, they have to like you, right? Scarcity. So all of those things are things that you should have on a sales page, or when you're speaking to someone, or when you're doing a presentation. So if I get this, if I'm on the right track, I think our offer needs to have something like that, right? It has to have some of those principles.
And certainly that is going to help with your
Yeah.
positioning, right?
Yeah, and also like what I was telling Andrea and the real Susan yesterday, um, you have to be really hone down your expertise into you kind of like pinpointing it, right? Like the refined message, like I help uh, internet marketing experts sell what is your expertise goes this in this line, right? Like for example, I help internet marketers create their high ticket program to sell their coaching, or their whatever, right? Whatever they're selling. But you should position like very specifically, because it's a very broad market, right? For example, if you are going to be selling to the internet marketing world, it's a very broad market. But we have a lot of agencies that are actually niche down, right? For example, internet marketing specialized for lawyers, or specialized for dentist firms, lawyer firms or dentist doctors, right? And and that way, if you can hone down in some expertise, you will be able to, be known as the agency for, right? Uh, there's a there are case stories for carpet cleaners, pool pool boys,
Yeah,
cleaning supplies,
everything.
like for everything. So you can create an agency specifically for. And something that Andrea said yesterday stuck with me throughout the day while I was thinking, and this morning, that you can be a one-man agency, right? A one-woman agency. So a one-person, let's say, agency. You don't have to, build this huge group of people. If your expertise is like very specific, so I specialize in creating leads for lawyers, and that's your agency, right? So as much as we want to be general and known, you might think, oh, I can get more clients if I am this like open-ended agency. Like I can do ABC, everything from A to C in the marketing space, like creating funnels, creating copy, creating traffic, which are like kind of like the three big things you can do, right? But if you are not specific, in what is your target customer, you're going to be, swimming upriver and battling to get clients. That's my point of view.
Carlos gives me a really good idea because just yesterday I was listening to Traffic Secrets, and one of the things that Russell was saying is that he was talking to one of his mentors, and this was back in the early days when opt-in pages were a brand new thing, and what he realized is that his mentor actually had lots of different funnels. In fact, they would create different funnels like all the time, every day. And so I think for an agency, that might be one of the great one of the ways that they can get multiple clients from different niches. So why not do everything that Carlos just mentioned? Why not have one funnel for lawyers, one funnel for other types of niches? Is that something that's possible, Danny?
I think for me, it's very important to kind of look at that, because some people might want to go and do that but not have the experience of the niche itself. So yes, it's possible, but also be wary of doing that. Anyone who's successful generally has a position, right? So they have a position in the team or a position in the band. So the guy who's playing the guitar doesn't just start singing. And sometimes there's crossover, and sometimes people might realize that they want that different position. And some people might be good at playing in two positions, but I think to have that maximum success, you do kind of need to know exactly where you are and what you're focusing on. So if your main thing is driving traffic, don't start building funnels. But yes, you could drive traffic for lawyers, traffic for dentists, traffic for musicians, traffic for whoever, because you know how to get out there and grab people from the internet and bring them in. Or you're a funnel builder, you would then potentially have somebody in your agency who does the traffic then. So you're like, right, now we're building the band. So at first, if you're on your own and you're just you're one person trying to do everything, it might be very difficult to work in all of those different niches. So I think that position is something that you've kind of got to arrive at based on your skill set, based on your understanding of the market, and also something that you're actually able to deliver without any hesitation. Because sometimes you see folks dropping in groups going, hey, I just got my first client. Can somebody tell me how to work with them? And you're like, that might present you with an issue, right? Because if you don't understand what you've just sold, people want a refund, and that's not a good place to be in. So you kind of want to make sure that you nail down what exactly that position is. Are you singing or are you playing the bass, right? And once you've got that, then you can go out of that and you can make some good music. But if you realize that you've got a person missing in your band, so like, hey, I'm the funnel guy, but I need the traffic guy. That's what Susan and Andrea were saying yesterday, is that they managed to come together because they recognize each other's skill sets complement each other. You don't want three lead singers, right? And nobody's on the drums. It's like, man, we're missing a piece.
Right.
That's like how my mind's going listening to you guys and this discussion. What's your thoughts, Tim?
Yeah, I would say kind of like a combination of what everyone's been saying. And kind of going towards like what Andy was saying, like, let's say if you could do it for different industries, like a lawyer and a chiropractor, they're two very different things. And if you're capable of doing them both, which you most likely are, you should still market it separate. Like if you're targeting dentists, they don't have to know that you also know how to do it for lawyers. You're going to get way more better clientele by niching down when it comes to your marketing strategy, and make sure your ads or everything is appearing in front of those dentists or owners of a dentist practice. And then you go and you make a separate ad for a chiropractor, so only chiropractors are seeing it. Like, they don't have to know you do everything. And then if you want to add another one that you don't have any experience with, to be very honest, like say you do dentist and a chiropractor, but now you want to start doing it for barbers, find a local barber, reach out to them and say, hey, I'm actually currently doing this for lawyers and chiropractors, and I'm killing it. It's going very well. However, I do want to get into the barber industry and do the same thing, but I don't have any proof. Would you mind me doing this for free for a month or two? Let's see how it goes in exchange for a testimonial. Once you get that testimonial, build your ads for now your barber approach. You could literally be working, like once you set everything up and it's all automated, your job could be literally reaching out to different type of industries or niche or clients and start building your agency little by little, but just keep in mind to market it separately. If that makes sense.
I think we've arrived at a good spot here, because what we've realized is that if you get the right folks in the right positions, and Dom's in the chat saying you can't have too many singers, right? So you can build your agency starting small, and then you can start to add the other pieces to make that band, to make that a loud agency. But what you were saying, Andy, is can you have different funnels for different niches? Well, yes. So we're at a point now where we've got the specialisms, we've got the right people. They know how to play that instrument to do their thing to the best of their ability. So you've got the ads guy, you've got the traffic guy, you've got the funnel guy, whatever. Everyone's kind of working together. This is a solid band, solid agency, solid group of people who can deliver across all of the relevant things that you would need to take a business from an idea to launch to being scaled. Because that's quite a few moving parts, right? And sometimes you might struggle with that if you're starting out just on your own. You're determined to have an agency. You know that you need these other people, but right now you probably just need a few clients, and you're like, oh man, but now they need to run ads. You've got to get to that point where you're either able to hand that over to somebody who's trustworthy, or bring that person in and start to build your band. But once you get good, maybe working with the dentists or working with the lawyers or working with whoever, then you say, right, well, we've got this thing working. We're getting our own leads. We're practicing what we preach. We're filling our pipeline with lawyers all day. How about we replicate this now, and we go after dentists or whatever other niche you want to go and target? And I guess that would be, like Tim says, totally separate funnel, totally separate ads, totally separate, totally separate workspace inside of ClickFunnels. Maybe you don't know. You might want to keep those totally separate bank account. So you've got to think, is what are the logistics for you of managing these things? They all need different budgets. So the bigger you get, the more moving parts you're creating for yourself. And then you might, now we need a band manager, right? We need somebody to come in and manage all this stuff. We've created all these moving parts. So as you move and as you grow, if you've got that in your mind and you're looking at it like that, it's like, well, we're in this perfect position for whatever niche, dentists. Now we want to apply exactly the same for lawyers or whatever it is. What resources are we going to need? And it's like, right. Now we've got a plan. We know it's replicated. We can replicate this thing, and we can take this and target this stream of people, because we're helping businesses to grow online. And Winter's in the comments right now as well saying, what Carlos said, that's a good one. It's just for his headline, I help with. So being very, very clear positioning. But once you start helping with that, Andrea said and Susan said, there's always something else that you need to help with. Building your organization, I think, is key to your success in the future. And what you guys think of that?
Yeah, and if I could just add, there's so much freedom and like a mental freedom when you're okay and you allow yourself to be like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on funnels. I know how to create ads. I'm good at it. I do it for my own stuff. Do I want, like some people are like, do I want to feel that responsibility for the success of it? Because a lot of people think, hey, if I hire you to do my ads and they don't do well, it is your fault. Yeah. Well, it could be your business isn't that great too, but so it's like there's so much freedom in that. If you know how to do something, that doesn't mean you have to do it. Like focus on, like, if funnels is your thing, focus on funnels. If making ads is your thing and you like that, then do that. Like, you don't need to be like, okay, since I know how to do this and this is the like what I want to position myself as the funnel guy, then that means I must know how to run traffic to it too. No, feel free to let them know, hey, I know how I'm going to build your funnel. But it is up to you on what route you're going to take to run traffic to it. And there's this freedom. Once you decide that, there's like no stress to it if you're upfront with it. Like if you're iffy about it and you don't give them a clear picture of what you're going to offer, then you're going to run into issues.
There was an important point, I think, that we made yesterday, is the ability to say no. And it's like, hey, we are a funnel agency. We build it, we design it. We put the video on there, we do that stuff, but you're going to need an agency to create your video. We just connect it, and you're going to need someone to go run the ads. Does it kind of make sense that you would become friendly with folks who could do that if you don't have those skills. And like you said, Tim, just be honest, because I think we've all, you know, in the past probably tried to get a client and then we're like, yeah, I can do the ads. Yeah, I can do. And like you said, there's that big responsibility. Well, this is not converting. And you're like, I'm in deep water right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Andrea was saying, the scope, right? The scope of the job. You know, sometimes, like I one time got a client actually that was selling insurance, right? Insurance. So I created the funnel. I created the whole funnel, the the email marketing campaign, the copy for the funnel, and the funnel setup. Grab some pictures from, you know, and made the funnel look good. And then by the time I started the traffic campaigns, I realized that I undersold because the amount of work that it took to get everything done and undercharged, not undersold, undercharged, right? Um, and then on top of that, being on top of the campaigns. So when I started the campaign, I told them, okay, this is where I stop, and if you want me to continue, you know, with the campaigns and whatnot, there's a different uh, price point, right, moving forward. And they decided to go with it. So I worked with them for over a year. We got great results, and then we went separate ways, right? Because I ended up like teaching them, okay, you just have to look at these numbers, and I didn't want, you know, the responsibility, like Tim was talking about. Like if something stops converting or something, just let me know. We can take a look at it. But you know, I didn't want to keep, you know, being in top of that campaign, so to speak. So it's very important to learn to say no to, and the big scope, right? Like if you are like focused on something, niche down something, like I want to be the funnel guy, or I want to be the traffic guy, or I want to be the copy guy, right? There are specialized courses for that. There are specialized ways to sell that, obviously, and it's easier to sell if you're focused. If you like the jack of all trades, master of none, right? The saying, like you kind of like be lost in the middle and end up asking in the group, hey, who can help me? I got my first client, right? Like we sometimes get those type of questions, and it's good, but again, you can be like lost in the middle of nowhere if you try to do it all. Yeah.
So I think it's so true. What Carlos is saying is that you have to make sure that you can be responsible for the project. Got to make sure that you have a page that describes everything that you want to that you can offer and that you can fulfill. Right? There's a lot of things. Some projects. It's hard to find out what the actual scope is going to be in the end. Yeah. So you've got to factor that stuff in. You've got to make sure that you give an accurate quote. And Danny, I think what we're getting to is what kind of funnel are we going to need, right? And from our discussion, I think the first type of funnel, well, it could be a couple, but tell me if this is correct. Is it going to be some type of appointment funnel, or some type of discovery call where the person gets a free call, or maybe maybe they charge for it, but it's at a lower price. That way you can meet the person and you can make sure that they're a good match for you.
I think from my perspective and my experience of working with clients and having staff in the past and having, you know, people doing lots of different elements, because I've had somebody running traffic, I've had somebody building funnels, I've managed a group of folks, and we've done this well. And we've also done this behind the scenes. So it was important for me to position myself in a way where competition didn't want to kind of challenge you in the marketplace, right? So a lot of the approaches that I would take, and this leads into how many clients do you need in a second as well. But the approach that I would take, I knew how many clients I would need to pay for everything and make enough money to be happy. And like Russell Brunson always talks about, like, what is the number that you want, and then kind of work back from that, right? So it's like, if you want to make a million, squillion, billion, trillion, and you're happy with that, cool, you're going to go for it, you achieve your dreams. Some people might just need 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year, whatever it is, right? So if you say, well, this is my goal, this is what I want to achieve in year 1, achieve this in year 2, you can work back from your number and you figure out, well, how many clients do I need on my retainer, because it's like a monthly service, and how many clients would I need up front? I'm going to charge, say I charge 10 grand for this with a few grand a month retainer, whatever that's going to look like. How many would I need to achieve my goals and also actually, you know, make some profit? So if you kind of got that figured out, you don't need to be going out there with a billboard at the side of every freeway and like advertising in the tube and on the back of all public transport saying, hey, you know, we've got this crazy marketing agency that deals with every problem in the world. You might need 10 clients in a year to achieve your goals, right? And if you're charging 30 grand with a monthly retainer, for example, to build out a serious piece of work, you're going into the business, well, 10 clients, you do the maths, that might be enough for you to pay all of your staff and live a very comfortable life for your family. Now, some people want more, some people want less. Maybe you want $1 million a year, whatever it is. But if you got that bit kind of figured out, you can then think, well, what funnel do I need to go out there and achieve this? How am I going to get my own clients? Because if you're a marketing agency selling funnels and your funnels don't work and they don't bring in your clients, then you've kind of got a problem, right? You're not practicing what you preach. So to go out there and actually use the funnels that you're comfortable with, the funnels that you can talk about with confidence to go out there and get clients. But there are, I think, some principles that will never change. Ultimately, people don't just go and click on some site and drop 30 grand on a credit card, right? There's a contract, there's a proposal, there's time to figure out exactly what is it. And there's that room for people to say, this is a good fit or not. Because, you know, somebody comes and says, hey, I want everything building and I've got $500, is probably not a good fit. Or, you know, I've made the mistake and taking on too much work and things in the past, or working with the wrong people. And sometimes you can get somebody who comes and they've got crazy expectations. I thought you was going to run the ads. And you're like, I never said I was going to run the ads. So you've got to get that bit right as well. So if you need that opportunity to have a conversation, then Andy, you've already mentioned a couple of things that would be, you know, highly recommended. A way for people to book in your calendar, book that appointment, and actually make an application. That is kind of where you need to be. But there's also real short funnels where you could be out there actively pursuing people who are asking for help, checking them out on social media, and then making an approach. So you could do it in different ways, but certainly would be thinking you need a calendar in there. People need to be self-serving and people need to be filling in some information before you even get on the call. Otherwise, it's a long call and you might not even qualify to work with us. Does that kind of make sense? So having that in mind, what do I want to be achieving money-wise? What do I need to pay for all this stuff? So you understand what margins you've got to play with. But then when I get my clients, how do I make sure we are a good fit? That does lend itself to those application style funnels. And it does lend itself to calendars and having people on calls. That's my experience. And I know you guys will have other experiences as well. But it's good to explore that, because folks watching might be thinking, well, yeah, now I've got the offer, I've got the idea, I know where I'm specializing, I've got the band. Like, how do we get the bookings? And this is so crucial, so you don't go out there and like fall flat in the first week. That's like from doing it.
So I think, thanks for that, Danny. So I think what the next step for people is just trying to find out how they're going to start bringing in traffic, right? So you might have some type of funnel. You might also be the type of person that just goes out and helps people. And then once you help people and they realize, oh, you're an expert, maybe you can help me with this too. And they'll just reach out to you, or they'll ask you for your website or ask for more information. I think what the starting point for Susan right now, for her marketing agency, is going to be to create some type of funnel hub, right?
I think having all of your information on one page which is the sort of like a concept of funnel hubs. If you have, you know, a little giveaway funnel where you're giving away like an ebook or something like that to give people a taste of what you do, you've got a way for people to apply. You're thinking about the value ladder that we talk about in .com secrets and how you can position, again, different levels of service. Some people just need a quick fix. You might be the quick fix agency, but some people need that long-term piece of work where you spend weeks, months, even years. You could be the only one-stop shop for folks. So being able to have that kind of like public-facing website, and on there you can then add and remove funnels as you know they're working for you. Funnel Hub is kind of perfect in my mind, and it's a shame that we didn't have that concept as clear a few years ago. But for Susan just starting out, it kind of makes sense to get that set and get that right from the outset. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I think, yeah, whether you're generating traffic, inbound traffic or outbound traffic, you know, reaching out to people, could be cold, could be warm, you know, reach out. You have to have a way to show your work, right? So the funnel hub or the site, which is what we call for each workspace in ClickFunnels 2.0, you have a site, right? Which is like the homepage, the good old homepages that we used to to program and to code into Dreamweaver, if you remember, Danny. You might, or you know, but yeah, that way you can show your expertise and you can show your work more than anything, right? Testimonials, what you can do for people, and a little bit about me, right? Because obviously in this first book, Expert Secrets, what Russell talks about is how to create your origin story, how to create your bridge, the bridge the gap, right, between what the customer needs and what result you can provide. Where do they want to go? And then you are the expert position, as you are positioned as the expert who can help them reach or bridge that gap, right? So you have the bridge is what you can do. So you are the expert calling them to come here and reach their goals, right? Reach the peak of the mountain, so to speak. And yeah, so the funnel hub or the site in the workspace is a perfect way to do that. And yeah, so
Yeah, and if I could add, because I feel like sometimes, like at first, if people are just getting into this, they're probably coming from like, wait, I heard that I needed to have a funnel. It's specific to something. And now you're telling me, wait, there should be a hub that kind of shows everything I do. Which one is it? It really depends on, let's say, a conversation. If you're just meeting someone, like let's say if you were just grabbing food at the food court at the mall and someone says, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. What are you doing? Well, I do this and this. If you want, go to whatever.com and let that go to your hub, right? Like, for example, and they could learn about you. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to go and start based on like what we were just talking about a few minutes ago. Say if you're running ads like for a dentist, you're not going to send them to your hub. It'll be it's going to be a specific funnel for that.
Yeah.
So in case if anyone's being confused, like, wait, do I tell every customer everything I do or not? No, it depends on who needs to see this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think having your hub, because people naturally just go and search for you, right? So if they do stumble across you, like Carla said, you've got this opportunity to have a portfolio on there, the work that you've done before, testimonials on there. Maybe you've got a blog going on there. You've got a bunch of stuff going on, and you could link off to different niche categories, which would then ultimately take people into those funnels. In the days that I was kind of really trying to get things moving, I wanted to be the one-stop shop, right? I wanted to do everything, and then quite quickly you realize, man, you need help, you need staff, you need the expertise in this bit because you don't fully understand it. And it wouldn't have made sense to try and build, because trust me, I've tried to build a site that's got everything on there. What we actually found worked the best was having somewhere with the testimonials on there, with having access for your customers so they could go and manage their own billing and things like that. Little training so people could see a little bit about what you do. But then most importantly, that book an appointment, let's have the discussion forum, and everything else was kind of built out behind the scenes in those little funnels. But ultimately, we always had like smaller links kind of off to the side that would take people back to those. So I guess that was like a funnel hub in the end. We went a long way about that of building it. But to go and try and be we do everything on one page is just going to confuse people. So having that overarching view of these are some of our examples, these are some of our testimonials, there's a little bit of a style, a flavor of our training, and here's how you can get in touch in that page, but still making sure you have those little links going off in case people stumbled on you by mistake and there's dentist. I didn't do dentist, but if that was the example, they would go that way. Go that way. You see, so having the funnel hub, you can add or you can take away, I think is the point I was trying to make. And you can make sure that you're always in that right position. And ClickFunnels just makes that super easy to do. So you're not having to do something in Dreamweaver and you're having then to, put all of these crazy things together and have people doing HTML code whenever you want to change some stuff. You literally turn it off, remove it from your menu, or indeed you've built a new funnel and you want to add that, you can do. So a lot of benefits of using ClickFunnels right now. But again, getting your thing in your mind is, where am I going to be positioned? What services exactly am I going to offer? And how am I going to generate leads for my own agency? Is everybody going through the same booking form? Or have I got different booking forms that go to different people? Maybe I've got somebody who's taking the sales calls. Maybe I've got somebody who's setting the appointments. How big is this agency going to be? But if you're thinking about these things now, and you're avoiding those pitfalls, knowing that you can build your funnel hub and you can give people a flavor, you can get them into your booking form to start off. And if they do want that more information, there are those subtle links on there that will take them off into other funnels and will show them a little bit of the other areas of expertise that you've got. I think you are positioning yourself right and you are planning for future expansion and growth, but you just might not have that right now. Rather than trying to put everything on the website and it's like, we do all this stuff. And then you often go on a website and there's a picture and a bit of text. We do ads. And then there's a picture of it, like, I don't know, like a dollar symbol or a graph or something. What does that actually mean? If you've not got some substance, you might as well not put that on there and just try and balance your position, your offer, and where exactly you're sending people. Open those funnels up when they're ready. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that makes entire sense. I think what happens is when, it's kind of common knowledge, although it's not accurate, that when you want to go online, when you want to take your business online, you start a website. And that's something that Russell has really said, no, it's just the wrong approach. Because when people think of a website, they just think about dumping all kinds of information on a page, and it's distracting. People will go to the website and they'll get a little confused. They won't know what the point of your business is. So that's why we have funnels. Now, a funnel hub. I love the idea of a funnel hub because you may not know, but there's lots of different types of funnel hubs that are out there outside of like a web page. For example, if you're looking for, let's say you're looking for a ClickFunnels expert, or you're looking for some tips about ClickFunnels on YouTube. You go there, you do a search, you find somebody that has really good videos, you click on their channel, and then you see that they have tons of really good videos. And it's like, oh my goodness, every video in the description has a link that will go to a funnel with maybe more information, right? That's a type of funnel hub, sort of. There's also people that are on Instagram, for example. You click on their profile, and then there'll be a link there that maybe goes to Linktree, right? Linktree is a type of funnel hub. You go there, there's a list. And by the way, you don't need Linktree. If you're using ClickFunnels 2.0, you could just use a ClickFunnels page. But Linktree, I'm just using this as an example because a lot of people recognize that app, but you can just put several links there that people can click on. They can go to your Facebook channel, your Facebook profile, or maybe a group, or maybe your YouTube channel, or maybe your funnel hub on ClickFunnels. So the idea of a funnel hub on ClickFunnels is amazing, because if you discover somebody that you see as an expert and you're like, oh my goodness, this person has amazing stuff, I want to know more. You go to the funnel hub on their ClickFunnels 2.0 website, and that's where you can discover all of the stuff that they're amazing at. And maybe you have one big giant button or several call to actions that say, book a call with me now.
And there is one kind of funnel hub that sets the standard, right? That really stands out. And I'm testing you guys right now. There's one funnel hub where lots of ClickFunnels members have probably seen elements of, but you might not have seen all of it. And that is the Marketing Secrets website. And if you go to marketingsecrets.com, you'll find that Russell Brunson sat on the front. And if you look at the top, you've got stuff about Russell, but then there's the Funnel Hacker Movement, the 2 Comma Club, Liberate and Educate, press, media stuff, resources, free funnels, reports, challenges, web classes, summits. There's books. Which books are the ones that are behind Carlos, right? The Expert Secrets, .com Secrets, Traffic Secrets, and more. Coaching, live events, masterminds, software, ClickFunnels, Funnel Scripts, Voomly, all these things. Some stuff on there that I've never seen before. And that is this is like a content hub and a shop on there. If you send somebody just to that page with all of your ads, so you send the dentist there, you send the doctors there, you send the entrepreneurs there, you send everybody all doing stuff, people are going to land on that page and be like, whoa, which one do I choose? But what often happens is people will find you by mistake and they have a dig around, and then all that you're doing is directing them into the relevant funnels. People won't click everything. They just, man, go into that thing. But having that for your agency, kind of putting a place in place where everything's all consolidated. As you add funnels, as you add offers, as you write books, as you bring out courses, that sits kind of separate, but also fulfills that really useful role within your business and really does help you position. But the main thing for me is that you only market directly through your funnels. So it's, hey, we are focusing on the dentist. This is a dentist funnel. The doctors don't see that. The lawyers don't see that. And people come along that little journey. They end up on your book call form. They end up on the phone. You do the deal. You do the business. You close that. But if somebody kind of stumbles across you, you're not actively advertising this thing, but if they do, it's there. Because some people go deep on the internet, right? You get like a stalker and they go through all your stuff, and then you get like, this post has been liked from 2014 or something. You're like, whoa, somebody's just gone deep. People will do that. And it kind of makes sense to have one place where you've got all of these little channels consolidated. So personally, understanding that and knowing that that's possible and that there are ways to market by your ads and bringing people in through your funnels, but there's also a place where like everything is displayed, is something that I think folks would benefit from exploring if they are creating an agency, especially the more niches that they are operating in. And I think that's a real good example of somewhere where you've got a lot of different things, but all roads are kind of leading to Rome. That makes sense. So it's like almost things are coming into the funnel hub rather than out of them. It's all centered around that one person. So if you're working across lots of different things, yeah, you can have a funnel up for that, but all of your marketing needs to be done individually through your actual funnels. That's kind of where I think the discussion's going and kind of where you probably want to be when you think about your positioning.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of it as far as the funnel hub goes. Like, say if you do approach that dentist, we've been using dentists a lot as an example, chances of them trying to look more into you are very high. So why not give them something that they're going to find anyway? It's better than them finding something random, So since you know that most likely they're going to, okay, yeah, I'm interested, but let me think about it. They're probably looking you up. And how cool would it be for them to find something and see that you do even way more than what you're just offering them? Chances are they're going to be impressed. They're going to know you're legit, or they're going to probably call you back and say, hey, I happened to look you up. I also noticed you do this and this and this. I'm interested in that. I also have a buddy that practices in some other kind of business. I'm going to also give you his information because I think he will like that too. So the potential of it getting you so much more business and just impressing your potential, clientele is very likely.
But I think the message is you do the marketing through the direct funnels. And if people do stumble across that, then it's got to be impressive, and it's got to kind of set that more strategic tone. It's like, this is the landscape, this is what it looks like, and these are all the other things I'm working on. But you're coming through this very, very narrow channel, and that channel leads you to my expert team who deliver this very, very well. And that means you've got the perfect positioning. That brings it together in my mind.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've known people that when I first met them, I thought they were an expert in one thing, and they were awesome, right? Then suddenly you realize that they're not just an expert in one field; they're an expert in all these other different fields. And there isn't anything wrong with that, but I do understand that if you present yourself as an expert for, dentistry type of funnels, well, then dentists are going to go to you because they know that you know their industry, you know their business, you know their clients, you know what they're trying to accomplish. But maybe you're actually an expert at the entire health industry, right? Not just dentistry, but maybe you also help doctors and physical trainers and nutritionists and stuff like that. So I do see that you could have a funnel hub where you show all of the different areas that you're an expert in, and people can go in there and they can say, oh, wow. Oh, you know what? Actually, my friend is a personal trainer or a therapist. Maybe they'll be interested too. And maybe you might even get a referral off of that. So yeah, great idea about funnel hubs. That's where people can discover all of your expertise and your talents and everything that you have to offer.
Yeah, and like, just to like round this up, Tim also touched a really interesting point here, that if they find your funnel hub, they can find all your socials, right? Like, you can find me here. There's no need to dig up, right? Like, even we can provide the funnel hub URL. Like, for example, hey, here's where you can find out more, and start your due diligence there, right? Because everyone will want to do it, and it's always better to be upfront with things like, hey, come look this up. Here's the about us, what the company or what the expert stands for, and maybe we are fit to work together. And we might not want to work with someone too, right? If we find out like, oh, they are like high maintenance, they will be high maintenance, or maybe pain in the behind. So that's also important.
Yeah, and I think just having that more strategic thing separate from your actual marketing funnels just stops all of that confusion, right? So if you're saying, hey, we run ads for, whatever, dentists, whoever it is, that is the focus of that track that these guys are on. So you're advertising actively for people. Hey, are you struggling with your ads? We are the agency to help. You don't want to be telling people, but by the way, we've got 3 books, 14 podcasts. I've got this, stake in these other 6 different things over here. Leave all that strategic on your funnel hub. If somebody finds it, great, they can see what you're doing, and that sets the authority. And it's like, oh man, there's all this crazy stuff going on. These guys are great. But in that initial, hey, we need a client to come through this door because we're running ads, the funnel is the mechanism that does that. And that is, like you said, Andy, 5-10 minutes ago, that could be as simple as the ad to a quick video sales letter that invites people to book a call, make an application, fill in the details, and you get them on the call. You decide whether they're a good fit, and then you do the dot the I's, cross the T's, send the proposal, make the contract, set those expectations like we talked about yesterday, and then do business, get some money sent over, do it by bank transfer. You don't want to be messing around with PayPal and things like that. If you're doing, thousands of dollars, you want a bank wire transfer into your account, and you've signed. You're out there, maybe you're meeting the client in person, you're working on site, or you're doing it remotely. And like Andrea said yesterday, make sure that that's totally detached from the actual work that you know, sort of like you've got the payments regularly coming in, it doesn't kind of creep. So sometimes clients are like, hey, I'm going on holiday now for 2 weeks. Well, you still want to get paid, right? So get that acquisition funnel for you to bring your customers in, get them on a call, do the business, do the paperwork, get paid, start the process. Then you get your next payment, you're moving the project along. That is the way that you're actually getting your customers coming in. But then you've got this more strategic thing going on that opens up the doors to other possibilities and gives you that authority. It's like, again, what we came back like at the beginning, positioning, and where are you positioned? What does it look like? And if you don't have a big bunch of stuff, you might just need that one funnel. If you do have that big bunch of stuff and you do want to kind of cover lots of different things, the funnel hub is perfect for that. So it really does help to understand those different levels and how you are positioning yourself before you move forward with this business. Because you can imagine like our avatar Susan sat in the office now with all of these different questions saying, oh, I just want to build a site and I want to do ads and funnels and I want to help people with videos and graphics and all these things. And it's like, really, you just want to be focusing on one thing through one funnel to get that specific client into your calendar so you can do business around that topic. And then if the time is right, you can open up these other opportunities, or indeed don't offer them at all, because you might get yourself into something that you can't handle. And Susan's like, whoa, thank you so much. Now I know where I need to go with this. And she's either going to be very specific, or she's going to be like, actually, I can do that. And I can have this going on over here, but I'm not going to contaminate the two by mixing them up, you know, running ads. Hey, we do this thing, this thing, this thing. And then somebody's like, oh, and now do you want to buy the book? And they're like, what, are you crazy? It's like, I just want you to run ads. So that detachment of all the other things that you might be doing, having that funnel hub there and then having those specific funnels to bring in specific customers, I can see Susan getting a lot from this and being able to go back and say, right, now I'm certain what I need to do. This is my plan. I know how many clients I'm going to need to do this and to pay for things and to actually make some profit. Where do I go from here? It's clear to me, and hopefully it's clear to folks who are watching. Where do we go from here?
That's a good question, Danny. But I do know that we are going to be talking about where do we go from here. It's once Susan, our entrepreneur, our fictitious entrepreneur, starts getting some traffic on her funnel hub. Yeah, I think the next thing is going to be to decide what type of offers to or what type of products to offer. Actually, it's not products because she's offering services, right? So she's going to be offering different types of services. She needs to make sure that she gets a contract or an agreement proposal that lists everything that she's going to be doing. There needs to be a clear cost. But I'm curious, Danny, where were you going with that?
So I think at this point, you've kind of nailed it down, Andy, because she's got all the information she needs to understand, like, the models. She knows that she don't want to bite off more than she can chew. She understands that she can position herself on a funnel hub strategically, but also she's got these different little channels coming in, these different funnels that are targeting those very specific dentist, lawyer, whatever it is. She's not going to be overburdened, and she has got that mechanism to take the money. She knows what her goals are financially, and she also knows that she can't play every instrument in the band. So she's like, right, very focused. It's still the time. I'm confident I can do it. She's going to bring in a partner because she knows that that's going to add the necessary skills that she might not have, so she can build this rounded offer. She's probably at the point now where she needs to be going out there actively seeking some clients and starting to bring folks through this funnel into the business and start to actually get appointments booked and start doing some business, right? And that's an exciting time. And obviously we can't like cover every minute detail. You're going to have to experience some of this stuff and kind of figure it out. And if there are any questions, we can sort of take these on board and answer them best we can. But if you understand the models you can work to, you understand that you don't want to complicate things and you want to be very specific of who are you targeting and what services you're offering. and you know that you've got a simple mechanism to bring these folks on board, you get them on a call without muddying the water and showing them too much at once, you can strategically position your other interests and, you know, offerings and social medias outside of your like acquisition funnel, so that it's not complicating things at all. It's not taking people on a different journey. You're at a point now where you're like, right, well, I've got the bank. I know what I'm aiming for. I know I'm doing wire transfers. I know I need a contract. I know I'm getting people on the call. I've got all this stuff lined up, ready to go. How do I now start getting the clients? And I guess that leads in nicely to what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. And we are going to be talking about, from a ClickFunnels perspective, how you can leverage our other programs, for example, certified funnel builders and the marketplace, to actually do this for real, right? So you've got all the theory in place and you understand the pitfalls, you understand some of the dangers, but you also know that you can do it. You've got your band assembled. You've got the right folks for the job. You know what clients you're going for. You know how to get them on board. You know you're getting them on a call. You know that it's not just a $27 product that you're selling. This is something that potentially you could have a client for a long time. You know how many clients you need. Now, how do you go out there and start strategically getting these folks in? And there's so many things inside of ClickFunnels that we can show you and we can talk about. Is like, how do we actually get folks? That's like where we're going with this, I think.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to be talking about clients and funnels, and we're going to be kind of dissecting that. That's going to be the next phase in Susan's business. So really excited about that. And to kind of recap what we talked about today, is we were focusing on offers and funnel hubs. And I love just some of the tips that were offered by everybody here, Danny, Carlos, Tim. Really good stuff about how you should structure your offers and your funnel hub, and how you should position yourself. And I'm really excited about diving in tomorrow as well.
If there's anything from anybody that you want to add to all of that stuff, any final closing bits? I think we've got a couple of minutes left, but we have to stay tight to the hour. There are a few questions, technical questions in the chat as well. And I know Loris and a few other folks are dropping some questions. We'll come back and we'll circle back and we'll kind of pick those up. If we've not done so already, there's some stuff we might not have been able to cover in this call, but we will go and pick those up. But if there's anything, folks, to add or any further thoughts, feel free, and then we can look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, so I did want to mention one thing, because you brought up the marketplace. So if anybody is wondering what is the marketplace, I know most people know what the marketplace is, but if you go to marketplace.funnelbuilder.com, that is a site that's owned by ClickFunnels or associated with ClickFunnels. And what you can do is you can actually sign up to be an expert there, where people can hire you. Now, do you have to pay anything? No, you don't have to pay anything, but there is a huge benefit to being certified. To get certified, you do need to go through training, and there is a cost for that. And our certified funnel builders, I mean, they're certified. So they've been given the stamp of approval by ClickFunnels, and you know that you're going to be in good hands. But there's much more than funnel builders in the marketplace. There's people that edit videos, there's copywriters, there's all kinds of different skill sets that you can find there to either hire yourself, or if you're somebody that's just getting started in your agency journey or an expert journey, you can sign up there as well. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about that throughout the week. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
It's been cool, and we appreciate everybody who's logged on, and thanks so much. Hopefully you got a lot out of that, and it's give you that clarity. Big thanks to everybody who's joined us on the show, because I know we've covered a lot there, right?
Definitely. I see Jocelyn and Loris and a bunch of other people too. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care.